Well, I could take this time to tell you more of that story, but I want to wait till tomorrow. I want to spread it out just a little bit. Let me now explain why I'm doing this. The Epic of Gilgamesh is known as the world's oldest known story, that through historical ways, scientific ways, you can prove its age. You could argue that creation stories have to be older by where they're set. How can you get older than creation? Well, that's not what I mean. I don't mean where this is set. I mean authorship. This story dates from probably 5,000 years ago. So it's the world's oldest known story, and therefore I think worth considerable attention. And you'll see why I say so otherwise. Well, I would say on page 18.2, I think that's probably where you are now, in the chronological survey, under well, no, this is not actually prehistoric. You should go all the way over to the left, maybe skip a line, and put down Roman numeral 2, because now we're in the historical period, let's call it the classical period. The classical period, and you could tab in, let's open parentheses and say from about, let's say from first writing up to about, approximately, the fall of the Roman Empire, about 450 AD, classical period. And then, sorry about this being a little bit messy here, you could tab in a little bit and say A, because I'm going to go by people here. And these are the Sumerians. As near as we can tell, the Sumerians are the ones who first had this story. And then tab in, once again, and write Epic of Gilgamesh, oldest known story. Sorry, I forgot about that. Well, anyway, here are characters I'd like you to write down. I think they're worth noting. With Gilgamesh himself, you maybe wouldn't have to write that, but there's Uruk, the city. There's Enkidu, that wild man that was Gilgamesh's friend. Humbaba, the ogre. Great name, I always thought, for a big black dog or something, Humbaba. Ishtar, the goddess of love. Might of Heroes, that's the name of the axe that Gilgamesh had made for himself. The sacred cedar, I think that's worth noting, I guess. The bull of heaven, that's what the gods sent against the city of Uruk. And then even the council of the gods that has met 3 times already in this epic. All right, I'm going a little fast because I forgot about that now. Now, I'd like you to jump to, I believe it's 4.1 in your notes. If it's not, you ought to take a look. It's 4.1 or 5.1, I think. And there you've got archetypes written down. Well, in parentheses, centered up underneath archetypes, I'd like you to write down kinds of characters that keep showing up. That's what I mean by archetypes. There are certain kinds of characters that all over the world and all over time, when humans tell stories, they tend to have certain recognizable kinds of characters. And the one I want to start with is a hero. Gilgamesh is a hero. He's the hero of the story. He's not all good, not by any means. But he's the one that we see this story, we see this story through his eyes, from his perspective. He's the hero of the story. You could call him good guy if you want, but heroes are not always good guys. English teachers are fond of calling the hero the protagonist. That's fine. You're basically rooting for that character. And as an example of a hero, we've got Gilgamesh. Well, put a comma after Gilgamesh, and even if I don't write them down, at this point I like to ask kids, all right, name some other heroes. And usually they say Superman. I'll say, sure, he's a hero. Batman, yeah, he's a hero. But then I say, but it doesn't have to be super. It could just be a normal person that you see it from his viewpoint. Harry Potter, yes. You could add these. I would tab in. Put your favorite heroes down. There's tens of thousands of them, but you should tab in here. The kids get excited about naming their heroes. On and on they go. Sometimes they're really funny. That was the way I discovered Waterboy. Somebody said, Waterboy, he's a hero. I'd never heard of it. Is it Adam Sandler movie? I'd never actually heard of the movie. But he said, oh yeah, he's a good guy. He's the one you're rooting for. And I said, okay. Hero's easy. I mean, but I would not just use Gilgamesh. I would put some other heroes down. And there we have our first archetype. Well, I've gone a little fast today. Maybe it's not necessary, but I've managed to get it into 2 videos. Tomorrow I'll make it a point to finish the story of the Epic of Gilgamesh. See you then.